I'm back, guys. So I don't always use fresh herbs, but today that's what I intend to do. So I'm going to show you what I've got. I've got dill, organic dill, and I'll use some of that. I've got organic rosemary, so I'm going to use some of that. This is all going to, because this is going to taste so good as the soup cooks through the day. Organic Italian parsley. Organic basil, and then I will throw in a couple of organic bay leaves for good measure. So that's what I'm going to have for my herbs in the soup, along with the fresh vegetables and the organic chicken broth and my leftover chicken and veggies from yesterday's meal. I also have some leftover turnip greens, and I will throw them in because they are good for you. So anyways, we're going to throw all this in. It will not take long to assemble. And while I'm doing this stuff and getting it into the pot, I have some other vegetables that are sitting in the sink in some vinegar water, apple cider vinegar and water, because they were not organic. And I wanted to wash off any pollutants, contaminants, toxins, glyphosate that were still left over on those veggies. But it's some celery, bell pepper, and tomatoes, so they will get thrown into this soup also. This is just going to be a hodgepodge, but I know it's going to be delicious, and it's going to be so easy to throw together. So anyway, here we go. We will start out by putting in this stuff, and I may have to do a little work to the chicken, so we'll see how it goes. I'm going to pour it in there, and then I might have to pull it back out and chop the chicken up a little. But, well, let me get something to get it out. Okay, well that piece is definitely going to have some attention. So I'll just put it on my cutting mat. Some of this will be able to go in as is. Okay. Okay. Let me see what we got here in this pot and what needs to be pulled back out that's going to need to be cut a little. That piece will. These big pieces of chicken are going to have to be cut up into smaller pieces. If they're not that big, they can just go into the pot, because as it cooks, you can break it up into smaller pieces. For the most part, I've already deboned that chicken. I do see a piece here that's got a bone, so I'll pull it back out and try to debone it, because we don't want bones in our soup. When I put this away last night, I didn't know what I might do with it. But anyway, so now that's in the pot. I'm going to put our turnip greens in the pot. I'm going to chop some, well, let me work on the chicken first. My pot's over there. Okay. Since this chicken is fully cooked, it's not hard to cut into small pieces. If it's got a bone, I'm tossing it aside, because we definitely don't want the bones in our soup. Or gristle. If I'm finding that, I'm getting rid of it as well. Okay. When you're working from a whole chicken, it's obvious it's going to have some stuff in it that you wouldn't necessarily want if you were putting it into a salad or soup, or just not something you would normally eat. I've about got the meat here done. Okay, so now that's ready to pour in to the pot. Okay. So next thing I've got is some onion. Just a couple pieces of onion here. Chop them up. Okay, our onion is ready to go in. Other than the vegetables that are still in the sink, I've got these fresh herbs, so we're going to work on them. So, sorry. Here's some of our Italian parsley. And it goes into the pot. There's our basil. Boy, it smells good. You can also take cooking shears and cut this stuff with shears, but I didn't have them handy. Didn't really want to walk off the camera to get them, so I just didn't do it with a knife in front of the camera here. Here's a couple of our bay leaves. I'll throw them in. There's my timer, so that means the vegetables in the sink are done soaking. But I'll go ahead and get this. Here's our dill. So I'm going to take a couple sprigs of my dill. Chop it up. And it goes in. And then last but not least, for the herbs, fresh herbs, is some rosemary. And this is how it looks. Okay, so it's going to go in to the pot. Now I'll step off camera and get those veggies from the sink and stop my timer, and I'll be right back. Just a second. Okay, so here's my veggies from the sink. It's tricolored bell peppers, tomatoes, and celery. Some of this is partially already chopped. Like the celery, it's pretty much ready to go in. I've already got it chopped into small pieces, so I'm gonna get them out of my way and throw them into the pot here. Okay, the bell peppers are going to be super easy because I've already got them partially done as well. All right, so here's our bell pepper. And then these tomatoes, I'm just gonna slice them in half because they're little grape tomatoes. Cherry tomatoes, I don't know what they call them. Okay. All right, I'm done with all this. Trying to get some of this out of my way. And now the last step, I want you to see how my pot is looking. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so now I've got to pour in my chicken broth because we've already got, the only thing I haven't added is some salt and pepper. And I will add some salt, but probably not any pepper, only because yesterday when we were eating that chicken meal, I had to add salt because it wasn't salty enough for me. It had plenty of pepper. And so I will add some salt because of that. Now, I've got this assembled, but it doesn't quite have as much liquid for a soup as I would like. So what I'm gonna do is I will just add in some more of my healthy water to the level that I want it to be. This is gonna simmer on the stove for as long as I want. The longer it simmers, the better it's gonna taste. And we will have a delicious soup later on today. Probably midday for in between lunch and supper. Thanks for your attention, guys, and I hope everybody has a great day. Bye-bye.